Welcome to Dad Talks, and today I want to talk about something that I think everybody can relate to, which is over-listening to something, right? You find a song, or an album, or an artist that you just really dig, and you completely indulge. You just listen to it, and listen to it, and listen to it, maybe a little bit too much, and then the shine starts to wear off, right? It's just not hitting you in the way that it once was. And specifically, what I wanted to talk about is a few factors that I've noticed that seem to affect how many times you can listen to a song before you get sick of it, right? Because, let's be honest, you can get sick of anything, right? If you don't believe me, take your favorite song, put it on a loop, and just see how long you can tolerate it. Most people are not going to last an hour. And that kind of brings me to my first point, and my most obvious point, which is the length of the piece of music obviously matters, right? If there's more to listen to, more to enjoy, more to digest, assuming that you actually enjoy the piece of music, then the longer it's going to take to get sick of it, right? And kind of in a similar way, my second point, and the main point that I wanted to talk about, is that I've noticed that complexity seems to matter a lot. The more there is to listen to in the sense of more layers, or more subtleties, nuances that you just couldn't pick up on the first few listens through, right? I remember when I first purchased Asymmetry by Karnivool, their album, and I threw the whole thing on and I listened to it and I was like, I like the song We Are, but the rest of this isn't doing anything for me. And then I would throw it on every once in a while and suddenly I was like, okay, I like Aeons. Yeah, okay, no, I like Sky Machine. No, wait, hold on, I love Aeons. Holy fuck, I love Aeons, right? And now it's one of my favorite songs by Karnivool, and that's saying something, right? Considering that it didn't even stand out to me at first. Now, obviously, this doesn't matter for every single song, right? As you can see here, I actually drew up a little graph of how many times you can listen to Mr. Brightside, and then how much you enjoy it over time. As you can see, you can't get sick of it. You love it forever. It breaks that rule I said earlier. But in all honesty, I've heard that thing hundreds of times. I could go listen to it now. I might listen to it now when I'm done this. I mean, it was on the UK charts for like a decade or some nonsense. Anyway, I find that with simple songs, like Mr. Brightside, right, the graph looks a little bit more like this. As you can see, after a few listens, your enjoyment kind of peaks when you become fully familiar with the song, and then you can get sick of it pretty fast. I mean, just think about how many times the radio has just ruined a song for you, right? You're like, oh, I like it. Just please stop. And then, with songs like Aeons, or Aeons, starts with an A, by the way, if you don't want to look for it. This is the kind of curve that you see where it's, you're kind of impartial at the beginning and then it slowly grows on you and it peaks for a lot longer, right? It's a lot harder to get sick of. Now, there's a handful of other things that I did want to mention. Like, for example, with some music, I find that there could be a quality that you initially find abrasive, right? Let's say maybe it's lo-fi production, or screamed vocals, or heavy guitars, or maybe even just a strange vocal delivery, like the guy from Modest Mouse. At first, it kind of turns you off, but as you listen to it more and more, it doesn't really get to you anymore, and then maybe eventually you begin to enjoy that quality of the music, right? And that can definitely kind of extend that curve, like I showed with that last graph. And something else that could take you a while to appreciate is lyricism, right? Let's say you didn't even hear what the song was about, and then when you found out, you were like, oh, and it gave the song a whole new light, or maybe it completely ruined it. Who knows? But let's hope it just gave it a new light. And, maybe you even went through a time in your life that allows you to relate to that song more, right? Again, giving it a second wind, giving it something else to enjoy about the song. Now, the last thing that I wanted to mention was something I almost want to make a full video about in and of itself, because it's just such a crazy phenomenon. Because music has this way of, kind of like smells, of just teleporting you back to a time and place, right? If you listen to something a lot during a really hard time in your life, or a really great time in your life, you could just be thrown right into that emotional state. And for me, I know I've actually kind of ruined a few albums for myself. It brings me to a place that I don't want to go to. And the only way to address that is to just listen to it so much that you kind of rewrite it with a new time. Whereas people do have like summer albums, right? That just again, bring them right back to some great peaceful time in their life, right? Like the summer of '69. Oh yeah!
Anyway, that's pretty much all I gotta say. So, if you think that there was something I missed, drop that in the comment section. If you think that maybe I look kind of funny, drop that in the comment section. Thank you.